Okay, so let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into something really specific. It's this regional supernatural horror from the Rio Grande Valley, all focused on the mystery of the man in the wet coat.
And it's so important to frame this correctly from the start. This isn't your typical haunting. Our sources all point to a phenomenon that's deeply tied to the land, the history, and especially the river itself.
The river, right. And the thing that hooks you, the thing that makes this case so different, is the evidence, this corrosive evidence.
You mean what Lisa Mendez found at the hospital?
Exactly. It wasn't just a cold spot. It was a physical corruption. The reports described this thick, oily water that spread unnaturally.
And the smell, metallic, like copper and river silt. It wasn't just cold. It was an active, almost invasive force corrupting the physical space.
But that water, the agua negra as the sources call it, is the key. You said it's tied to the river.
It is the river, in a way. The Rio Grande in this lore acts as a kind of a spiritual toll booth. All the generations of despair, of anger, it all settles there. And this creates the perfect environment for a very specific kind of entity to manifest.
Which brings us to the imitador. So it's not a ghost, not a spirit. What is it?
It's a predator, a specialized one. The fascinating thing is, it has no face, no memories of its own. It's a blank slate.
So how does it become so personal? How does it terrorize a family?
It steals. It takes what are called cascarones, like shells, the emotional residue left behind by human tragedy. It just wears them.
That wears them like a disguise.
Precisely. And its fuel isn't the soul, which is what you usually hear. It's resentment, unforgiveness. The sources call it spiritual gravity.
Spiritual gravity. I like that. It's the tether.
It's the tether. It's what grounds this thing to a person and a place instantly.
So with the Aragon family, how did it use that against them?
Oh, it was tailored psychological warfare. For Myra, the wife, it used her husband Aaron's old pet name, Mi Corazon.
Oh, that's brutal.
It is. But on the recordings, it wasn't his voice. It was just this agonizing static and then a wet, ragged gasp. It was designed to fracture trust.
And Aaron was the skeptic.
The total skeptic. So for him, it was impossible physical evidence. EMF sensors going absolutely haywire. A brand new grate in the backyard covered in corrosive rust just overnight. A brass doorknob tarnished in minutes. It took away his logic.
And then there was Joel, their son. He was the most vulnerable target.
He was. For him, it appeared in his nightmares as this dripping, distorted clone of his father. He became terrified of mirrors.
Why mirrors?
Because he told his parents he could see its face, sort of dissolving, superimposed over his own reflection. The imitador was literally trying on the identity it was building.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
So how do you fight something like that? Where did the breakthrough come from?
It came from Tia Mercedes, her wisdom. She provided the context they were missing. She knew the history.
And what was the history?
The wet coat itself. It belonged to Aaron's great-grandfather, who died wearing it, cursing his own son, Aaron's grandfather. The rage was concentrated in that object.
So the entity wasn't trying to get into the house?
No, that's the whole point. Tia Mercedes warned them. It was already inside Aaron's heart. The bitterness he still held for his own deceased father was the doorway.
So the rituals, the salt line they put down, all that blessed sea salt, what was that for? Was it just for show?
Not at all. It was a real perimeter defense, but it was never going to be the final weapon. The battle had to be internal. Forgiveness, she said, was the only thing that could dissolve that kind of spiritual gravity.
And that's the climax of the story.
It is. The entity physically broke the salt line it charged in, but it just dissolved catastrophically.
Yeah.
Left nothing but a puddle of brackish water.
When Aaron yelled it.
When Aaron screamed, "I forgive you, Dad, I cut the line," he didn't banish it. He took away its food.
So the spiritual battle was won by, what, internal cleansing, not by some external power.
Exactly. And that really is the takeaway for you to think about. The most powerful defenses are sometimes internal, but the story doesn't quite end there.
The coat, the image of the wet coat hanging on the line.
Yeah.
Dry.
Yes. The entity left them a parting message, in a way. A warning. It basically said that even though they were free, the river is always waiting for new identities to claim. And the coat is always dry in the valley sun, just waiting for the next person who can't let go. The toll must always be paid.